Endless work problems? Stress piling up? Managing tasks at work doesn't have to feel impossible. In this video, we'll dive into practical conversations about how to handle workplace challenges, manage time, and reduce stress. Stay tuned for valuable tips you can apply right away. If you're ready to take control of your workday, make sure to like this video and subscribe to MA English for more practical English conversations and lessons.
James, do you have a minute? I need some advice on something.
Sure, Alice. What's up? You look like you've been dealing with one of those days.
You could say that. It's this client, Mrs. Henderson. She's been incredibly demanding, and no matter what I do, she always seems unhappy with something. I'm at my wit's end.
Mrs. Henderson. I know her well. She's been a handful for years. What's she unhappy about this time?
Well, it started with the design proposal. We made the revisions she asked for, but now she's saying it's not aligned with her vision. I've tried to get clearer feedback from her, but it's like she doesn't even know what she wants.
That sounds frustrating. She's the type who changes her mind at the drop of a hat. Have you tried sitting her down for a more focused conversation? Sometimes, when you push for specifics, clients like that will reveal what's really bothering them.
I did, actually. I asked her to pinpoint what wasn't working, and she said it just doesn't feel right. No clear direction, no concrete feedback. How do you deal with that?
Yeah, that's classic Mrs. Henderson. It's like she's allergic to being decisive. What I've found useful in the past is to give her fewer options. Sometimes, clients get overwhelmed when we present too many ideas or designs. Narrow it down to 2 choices that align with her goals, and let her feel like she's making the final call.
That could work. I was thinking maybe I'm giving her too much to process at once. She's also been really fussy about the timeline, even though she's the one delaying the decisions.
Typical. She expects everything to be perfect, but she doesn't realize her own indecision is what's causing the delays. Have you been documenting her feedback and the changes you've made based on that?
Yeah, I've kept a record of every revision. I thought about sending her a summary to show how we've responded to every one of her requests. Maybe that'll make her see the bigger picture.
Definitely. That's a good strategy. It's like holding up a mirror and saying, "Look, here's what you asked for and we delivered." Sometimes clients don't realize how many changes they've made or how much work has gone into those changes.
Exactly. But the tricky part is doing all of this without making it seem like I'm blaming her for the delays. I don't want her to get defensive.
Right, you don't want to come off as confrontational. Maybe you could frame it as wanting to be ensure you're both on the same page. Something like, "I just wanted to confirm that the changes we've made are in line with your expectations, so we can keep moving forward efficiently." Make her feel like you're a team, not like you're pointing fingers.
That's a good way to phrase it. I need to keep the relationship positive. It's just so exhausting trying to balance her demands with the actual work.
I get it. It's mentally draining when a client is never satisfied. But here's another thing I've found with Mrs. Henderson: she responds well to being given a sense of control, but only if it's within a structure. If you guide her towards a decision and make her feel like it was her idea, she's more likely to stick to it.
That's smart. So, maybe I should set up a final meeting with her, present just 2 refined options, and really emphasize the importance of locking things in so we can meet her deadline.
Exactly. And when you set that meeting, be firm about the timeline. Let her know, politely but clearly, that any further delays will push back the project, and it might affect the final outcome. Make her understand that time is running out and the ball is in her court.
I'm going to do that. It's just tricky because she's also a really important client, and I don't want to upset her or make her feel like I'm rushing her.
Yeah, that's the balance. She's important, but you've got to protect yourself and the team. You can't let one client eat up all your time. You need to set boundaries even with high-profile clients like her.
True. I think I've been too soft, trying to accommodate her every request.
It's easy to fall into that trap. We all want to please the client, but at the end of the day, we've got to deliver. And if you keep bending over backwards, the project could end up suffering.
You're right. I'll set that meeting, limit her choices, and make sure she understands the timeline. I think that'll give her the push she needs to make a decision.
I'm sure it will. And don't hesitate to remind her of all the hard work you and the team have put into this. Clients like Mrs. Henderson sometimes forget that we're not just sitting around waiting for their next request.
Thanks, James. You've really helped me clear my head. I feel like I've got a solid plan now.
Alice, can I have a quick word? I've noticed you've been looking a bit stressed lately. Is everything all right?
Oh, yeah, I'm fine. Well, it's been a bit of a hectic week. There's just so much to do and not enough time to get through it all. I'm trying to keep it together.
I understand. It's been full on for the whole team, especially with all these new projects coming in. But you don't have to do it all on your own. That's what we're here for.
I know, but sometimes I feel like if I don't handle it, it won't get done properly. It's just the perfectionist in me, I guess.
Believe me, I know that feeling. But trying to do everything perfectly on your own is a sure path to burnout. You've got to prioritize and learn when to delegate. What's been piling up on your plate?
Well, there's the Henderson project, which has been a nightmare. Then I've got that report for the finance team, 2 client meetings coming up, and a dozen emails I haven't even opened yet. It's just a lot.
That's definitely a lot for one person to handle. Let's start with the Henderson project. Where are you with that?
I've made some progress, but Mrs. Henderson keeps changing her mind, and I've been revising the design more times than I can count. It's slowing everything down.
I had a feeling that one would be tricky. How about we look into getting some extra hands on that? Maybe James can help. He's worked with her before and might have a better sense of what she's looking for.
That would be a lifesaver. I didn't even think of asking for help with that, to be honest. I just felt like I should be able to manage it.
I get that, but part of managing stress is knowing when to ask for help. No one's going to think any less of you for it. We all have those moments. Now, what about the finance report? That's not due for a few more days, is it?
No, not until next Wednesday, but I wanted to get ahead of it. I hate leaving things until the last minute, especially when everything's piling up.
Fair enough, but maybe you can push that to the side for now and focus on the more urgent tasks. It sounds like those client meetings and Mrs. Henderson's project need more immediate attention.
You're right. I think I've been trying to do everything all at once, and it's not working.
That's exactly it. When things get busy, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, but it's important to step back and think strategically. Focus on what's truly urgent and let the less critical tasks wait.
Yeah, but it's hard not to feel guilty when I'm not getting everything done. There's always this pressure, like I should be able to handle it all.
That's the problem, thinking you need to handle everything perfectly. No one expects you to be a superhero, Alice. What's important is getting the key things done well. The rest can follow.
I guess I've been setting unrealistically high standards for myself. It's just that I really want to do well, you know?
And you are doing well. No one here doubts your ability, but if you push yourself too hard, you'll end up burned out and won't be able to give your best at all. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
That's true. I'm starting to feel the burnout creeping in already, if I'm honest.
Then it's time to take a step back and breathe. Have you been taking breaks? Stepping away from your desk for a bit?
Not as much as I should. I've been glued to my screen, trying to power through everything.
That's another thing, you need to step away, even if it's just for 10 minutes. Go for a walk, get a coffee, clear your head. You'll find you're more productive when you're not running on fumes.
I know you're right. I keep telling myself I'll take a break after I finish this or that, but then something else comes up.
It's a vicious cycle, isn't it? The work will always be there, but you need to be in the right state of mind to tackle it. You've got to pace yourself.
Easier said than done. But I'll try.
It'll make a world of difference, trust me. Also, let's think about time management. What's your system for keeping track of everything?
I've got a list, well, several lists actually. But I always end up bouncing between tasks, which doesn't seem very efficient.
That's where you might be going wrong. Instead of multitasking, try focusing on one thing at a time. Prioritize the tasks based on urgency and importance. Maybe you could start each morning by listing the top 3 things that must get done that day. The rest can be secondary.
I like that idea. Sometimes I feel like I'm constantly spinning my wheels, trying to get everything done at once and not really finishing anything.
Exactly. You'll be more effective if you tackle one task at a time and see it through. And don't be afraid to let others know when you need a hand.
I suppose I've always felt like asking for help would make me look weak, but that's just in my head, isn't it?
Completely. We're a team for a reason. Everyone's been in your shoes before, and no one's going to think less of you for needing support. If anything, it shows you're smart enough to manage your workload properly.
I'm going to try that from now on. Be more strategic, delegate where I can, and take proper breaks. I definitely need to manage this stress better.
Good plan. And if you ever feel overwhelmed again, don't hesitate to come to me or anyone else on the team. We're all in this together.
Thanks, David. I appreciate it. Sometimes it just helps to talk things through, you know?
Anytime, Alice. You're doing a great job, so don't be too hard on yourself. Just take things one step at a time, and you'll be fine.